Okay, so I'm going to talk about how I picked out my sustain pedal. And yeah, so when I was doing research, the first thing I came across, concept that I had to learn, was polarity. So there's positive and there's negative. Positive is normally open and negative is normally closed. So I read that Korg and Casio are positive or normally open, and Yamaha and Roland are negative or normally closed. So that just means normally open would be you aren't pressing the pedal and it just sounds normal. And then you press it and notes are sustained or held out. So normally closed would just be opposite. You press the pedal, so I guess that's closed, and that would be normal, and then lift it up, and then now notes are sustained. Kind of annoying that there's a difference, but whatever. So of course that immediately got in my head that a universal pedal would be nice, something with a polarity switch. I currently have a Casio keyboard, but you know, I have no idea what I'm going to have in the future, so why not have a universal? So it just works for whatever, right? Sounds great. Okay, so there's two things I want to define before I get into what I looked at. When I say a pedal breaks, I'm using that word very loosely to mean it gets too squeaky, so it's broken, or it just stops working altogether, it falls apart somehow, so it just physically cannot work anymore. Whatever it is, it effectively breaks. Okay, and then also if I say break in less than a year, I kind of assumed less than a year meant more than half and less than a full. So I don't know, 7 to 9 months would be an example, 10, 11, I don't know. So, oh, also someone did not request me to talk about this until after I'd done all my research, and it had been a while, so I'm kind of going off of memory. So if I say something wrong, I'm sorry. Here's your disclaimer now. Alright, so for the list of pedals I looked at the Donner DK1 or DSP-001, I guess, pedal. So I read through a ton of reviews. A lot of them said that it breaks within a few months. Then I looked at the LESHP pedal, however you say that. That one also said in a lot of reviews that it breaks in less than a month up to less than a year, breaks in a few months up to less than a year. So a little better. And then one that you would probably see mentioned all over the place is the M-Audio SP-2. And I, looked through all those reviews, and it, pretty much it breaks in less than a year. So a little better. And then, I'm kind of going in order from worst to best, is at least how I saw it. And then the next ones up are Sirocco and Onstage KSP-100. So they both supposedly break in less than a year. But some said that that they've had some that last longer. So, that's good, I guess. And then the main thing mentioned about the Onstage one was something about like the bottom of the pedal coming off and just rendering the whole pedal completely useless or something like that. I can't really remember the details. And then the next one on the list, Nectar NP2. It sounded like most people said don't bother with the MP1 model, just MP2 was better. So, but a lot of them said, there were some people that said that the pedal broke early, but there were also several that said that it lasted them a couple years before it broke. And the pedal was also a little heavier than the others, so there were a lot more positive reviews on just it sliding around less when you're playing piano. That could be really annoying. And yeah, so after going through all these reviews, it took forever, and I just went on Amazon and went through all the reviews on there, because while I don't like to necessarily buy everything from Amazon, a lot of people use it, so it can be good source for reviews. So that's where I looked at them all. And I don't know, I wasn't really excited about pedals breaking in a few months, or even lasting less than a year, or possibly 2 years, but who really knows? And then having all these issues, and there were way too many complaints about the pedals becoming noisy. I wasn't liking that. And then I don't know, but then you look at all the ratings for all the pedals I've listed, and they're all rated really well on Amazon's site. And when you read through reviews, I'm kind of thinking that they're rated so well because people think that these pedals are good while they're working. They're what they expect, and they work great. And then they break. And it seems like people think that these pedals are just dirt cheap, as they say, and it breaks, then they'll just buy another one. And who cares? Because it doesn't cost very much. Well, I don't know. That seems kind of wasteful to me. I'm not one with that mindset. So I wasn't real excited about these universal pedals. And because of my non-excitement, I did not bother looking into the Donner DSP-002 or the Donner DSP-003 pedals. At this point, I was just like, I don't even see the point of doing this. I'm kind of done. I was starting to wonder if it was best to just buy a pedal that matched the brand of the keyboard that you have. So, make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh yeah, and a lot of reviews, people were saying you pay what you get, or you get what you pay for, which very much seems the case from what I was reading. And then if you want a higher quality pedal, you're going to have to pay more money. Okay, fine. While reading all the reviews, I saw mention of Yamaha pedals. Yamaha isn't compatible with Casio, from my understanding, but I did see several people mention the pedals and how good they were. They didn't mention models of them, just the brand name. And they said some people were saying that their Yamaha pedals lasted them 10 years. I'm like, that's more like it. That's the kind of pedal I want. Something that's actually going to last a while. There were also people that mentioned the Roland DP10 pedal, and they were talking well of that. Again, as far as I'm understanding, it's not compatible with Casio, so I didn't look into the pedal. But if you have a Roland or something compatible, it might be worth looking into. I saw some mention of a Korg DS1H pedal. I did look into the reviews of that one. It's made in Japan. There's a lot of Japanese reviews, but Amazon has a fancy little translate feature now, so that doesn't even matter. But the reviews weren't very substantial. They didn't really say much. They weren't really drawing me to it. I don't know. And, supposedly that's compatible with Casio. But so I went to Casio next and looked at what pedals they had. They have 3. They have the cheapy little square that comes with their keyboards by default. So this guy, and you can hear it's fairly quiet. It's not too bad. I'd actually never used it before because I had this Hosa FSC604 pedal. This one, the top part peeled off, and apparently it has a polarity switch, but I had no idea what that even was back then. Someone bought this for me, so I didn't know what I was doing. And this is heavier than the Casio Square, which is nicer, but it moves all over the place when you play. I play a song, move it back into place, But this pedal became very noisy over time. I couldn't tell you how long though. I've had this thing forever. But yeah, it's pretty lovely sounding. This is why I was in the market for a new pedal. I was kind of tired of that showing up in my recordings. So another pedal that Casio has is their like piano style pedal. It's heavier. It's it's supposed to feel more like a piano pedal. It's this one. It's SP-20, and you can hear it's pretty silent. Pretty nice. I've played with it a little bit, not very much yet, and it, I don't know, it hasn't moved for me yet, but like I said, I haven't done much for it yet. And then the other pedal they have is the 3-set one, like the real pianos that come with the 3-set pedal thing. I don't know what they all do. But I ended up, as you can see, going with the Casio SP-20 because the reviews on there, it was heavier, so people said it slid around a whole lot less. There wasn't a huge mention about longevity of the pedal. It seemed like either people hadn't had the pedal long enough or they were just so excited about it just being light years better than the cheap little square, which it is, really it is. That they just, didn't even mention how long they had it. They were just excited and put a review out there. I can't blame them. When my Hosa pedal became noisy, I started using the cheap square, and yeah, I was not happy with it. But the SP-20 is a lot better. So that's how I came to decide on my pedal. Let me see if I missed anything. All right, I think you're good. So yeah, we're done.